Yes, hello students. Today I will discuss 6 questions of Indian society from GS Paper 1. These 6 questions were asked in Mains Paper 2022. Now 3 are 10 markers, question number 8, 9 and 10 are 3 markers, and question number 18, 19 and 20 are 15 markers. Total 75 marks out of 270 marks. So now I start with the first question, question number 8. Question number 8 says, evaluate and explore the impact of work from home on family relationships. So this question is quite easy. In the introduction, we can say that the COVID-19 pandemic induced work from home culture for those sectors where work can be done in online mode. Now, work from home means if people work from home, that means people spend lot of time used to spend lot of time in traveling. Now that they are saving their time on traveling, that means they will spend more time at home, and last they also have option for flexible work schedule. They can also do their work flexibly. So these are the 3 things which have happened because of the work from home culture. Now, what has been the impact of work from home culture on family relationship? The question is specific about family relationship. So we can write it has impacted positively and it has impacted negatively in the body. Now, positive impact means how it has strengthened the family bonds. Negative means how it has weakened the family bonds. It has strengthened positively because people are now able to balance work life. That is very important. Work life balance, they are able to do it now. And since they are able to balance their work and life, they get to spend more time with family members, like spouse, your children, parents. You get now spending more time with family member means strengthening of family jointness. Emotional bonds are strengthened. Then the second impact is the husband and wife sharing the household responsibility. Sharing of household responsibility is again positively impacting the family relationship of husband and wife. And next important aspect has been the reverse migration from tier 1 cities to tier 2 cities. Where people, since they can work in online mode, have been going back to their hometown cities, and from there they are working. Now reverse migration has strengthened and revived the joint family culture again in the India. So this is what is positive impact. Negative impact on family culture means the main problem with work from home is there are no working hours. You are every time on work. So people are not able to balance work and non-work. So leading to what? Work overload. So sometimes there is work overload, and this work overload is because of difficulty in distinguishing between work and life. Now, this work overload leads to stress, and stress leads to conflict in family relationships. So this is first point. Second, increase in interaction between the family members leads to what? Increase in interaction between family members leads to more conflict, leading to increase in divorce rates. This has happened. The divorce rates have increased. Breakdown of families have increased because of work from home. Then domestic violence has also increased. Domestic violence has also increased over the period of time, and women especially have been more affected because she is now having dual burden. Dual burden means she has to take care of the child as well as she is doing work also. On one hand, she is having a baby, on the other hand, she is doing work on the laptop. So this is dual burden. Dual burden again leads to frustration leading to conflict between the household members. So, the work from home culture has given a mixed kind of family relationships. It has, for some, it has strengthened the family bonds, for some, it has weakened the family bonds. So, this question was quite easy, in the paper. It can be answered very easily, doesn't require state of the art knowledge. Question number 9. How is the growth of tier 2 cities related to the rise of new middle class with an emphasis on culture of consumption? So it says that growth of tier 2 cities. Tier 2 cities, like, you don't need to give the definition of tier 2 cities here. You can just give examples: Lucknow, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Nagpur, Pune. These are all tier 2 cities. Now, the growth of tier 2 cities, the question says, is because of the new middle class. The growth of tier 2 cities is because of this new middle class. Now, what is new here? New middle class here, which is more based on consumption. Now, we can easily distinguish between old middle class and new middle class. Old middle class had more culture of saving, more saving, less expenditure. New middle class in tier 2 cities, because of new middle class here, less savings, more consumption. Now the question says that this new middle class has fueled the growth of tier 2 cities. We have to explore how. So this is what we can write in introduction. That introduction will say that you have understood the question and you have understood the meaning of new middle class. Then we can write about the body. The body says, body we can clearly say why this has happened, why there is growth of new middle class. The reason for the growth of new middle class in Indian society is, in tier 2 cities, is that there has been rise of e-commerce platforms. E-commerce platforms like online delivery of goods, online delivery of food items, and there are some specific e-commerce platforms which have been targeting tier 2 cities only. For example, Meesho and Flipkart. They are also targeting specifically tier 2 cities. So these e-commerce platforms have fueled a culture of consumption. Their penetration, e-commerce platform penetration in tier 2 cities has fueled consumption. Second, these e-commerce platform has given rise to a new workforce called gig economy workers. Now, gig economy workers and gig economy in itself has also given birth to micro entrepreneurs. Micro entrepreneurs means small shops, small enterprises who list themselves on these online platforms. So these micro entrepreneurs and workers are also a kind of new middle class in tier 2 cities. Third, there has been increase in fast fashion culture. Fast fashion culture here, this has also increased. What is fast fashion culture? Quick changing culture and products being available at a very lower cost. For example, Zara, H&M, they are examples of fast fashion. They give you product at a very low rate and they keep on defining the fashion at a very fast pace. Now this fast fashion has given birth to mall culture in the tier 2 cities, and these products are easily affordable and therefore they fuel consumption. So that is how, the main factor here for fueling consumption in tier 2 cities and promoting their growth is your e-commerce platform. That is the keyword that you have to write here. Now, now we can also discuss from where they are getting the disposable income to consume more, from where this middle class is getting the disposable income to consume more. Now, factors for disposable income can also be discussed, like there has been a trend of reverse migration, and reverse migration means no expenditure on rent and traveling. No expenditure on rent and traveling means more disposable income, which can fuel consumption. So that is how there has been birth of, there has been increase in consumption of tier 2 cities. So you can discuss all these things. There is no need for a conclusion here, or if you want to write conclusion, you can simply say that the tier 2 cities should continue to grow if they want their growth to be continued for a long period of time. The tier 2 cities should focus on skill development. After that, they have to provide infrastructure facilities. Third, they must boost local economy by moving more and more local shops to the platform based economies. And fourth, increase digital penetration. Yes, this point is also very important. Why? What are the factors responsible for the growth of e-commerce industries platform? This also you can discuss in your answer. You can say that there is no infrastructure investment in e-commerce platforms, in providing e-commerce platform services, and moreover the digital penetration has increased, increasing the reach of these e-commerce platforms. So all these factors have led to birth and increase in consumption in tier 2 cities. So this question is question number 8. Now we move to the next question, question number 9. So next question says that, question number 10, given the diversities among tribal communities in India, in which specific context should they be considered as a single category? Now this question is very simple, but it is quite difficult to understand. The examiner has, played very well with this question, but this question is very simple. The question says that there are so many tribal diversities. There are regional diversities, there are religious diversities among tribes, racial diversities among tribes. Then tribes have come in contact with the mainstream, impacting their culture differently. So, so there are different then there are different religious practices. For example, we can understand that there are some practice ancestral worship, some are practicing naturism. So the question says that tribes are very different. Tribes are very, very diverse among themselves. But then what is the common thing? What is the common thing that binds tribes together? Now, this is question about definition of tribes. That what is the common features about tribe that they can be called as tribe. So there are some common features for tribes. Now, tribes politically are referred to as STs. We call them as scheduled tribes. And the best common definition of tribes can be seen in the criteria used to identify STs. So what are the criteria used to identify STs? We can simply say that, there are 5 main criteria. First criteria, they show primitive traits. The second criteria, they have distinct culture. Third criteria, they are geographically isolated. Fourth criteria, shyness of contact with outsiders. Fifth criteria, they are economically backward. Now these are the 5 criteria on the basis of which a tribe is declared as ST, and these criteria are to be found true across all tribes. So this is the specific context which they are asking you to answer here. So we can write here, you can write this line also, tribes however classified as a single category as ST based on following factors. And according to this definition, there are around 744 different ethnic tribes in India. So you can write about this. Then you can also mention the March 2022 Supreme Court ruling about affinity test. Affinity test means if tribes are coming in contact with outsiders and their original primitive culture is disturbed, should they be considered as tribe or not? So the Supreme Court in March 2022 say that the affinity test is no longer a valid criteria to identify ST. That means if a tribe has come in contact with outsider and there is a change in the culture of tribe, we should still consider him as tribe only. The court is of this opinion, and therefore the court has referred the matter to a larger bench which will decide on the criteria for identifying STs objectively. At present, there is this affinity test. Affinity test means whether the tribe is maintaining its primitive cultural traits or not. If not, it will not be declared as ST. But the court said the affinity test is no longer a valid criteria and therefore referred the matter to a larger bench to clearly define STs. But some of the common features which are found across the tribes can be mentioned easily. I have told you those 5 common features. So this question was about the definition of tribes. Very simple question. Nothing much to write here. Not to think too much about this question. The question simply asks you to write definition of tribes. That's all. Next question is a 15-marker question. 15-marker question says, analyze the salience of sect in Indian society vis-a-vis caste, region and religion. Now, in this question, we first define what is a sect. What is a sect? So, sect is nothing but it is part of a larger religion. It is a group of people who are part of the larger religion. Let us name this group as G1. Why they are different from the main religion? They have their own rules and regulations which are different from the main religion. However, they are part of the main religion only. So, this group G1 can be called as a sect. This group G1 is called as sect. So, sect is a religious group within the main religion having different set of rules and regulations. Now, the question says analyze sect vis-a-vis, analyze the salience of sect vis-a-vis caste, region and religion. So, if I analyze sect vis-a-vis caste and sect, if I analyze this point, you know what has happened over the period of time is, what has happened is, you know, if you look at the reasons for formation of sect, you will find that sect is formed because people do not agree with the rules and regulations of the main religion. For example, many sects were born in society which did not agree with the caste system. So, because people did not agree with the caste system, they formed their sects. So, many sects of Hindu religion reject caste system. So, you can write here, many sects of Hindu religion reject caste system. You can give examples also of sect rejecting caste system: Vaishnavism, Shaivism, Shaktism, and most of these sects have membership of lower caste. You can also give an example of Lingayats. The basis of formation of Lingayat was rejection of caste system in Hindu religion. So, caste is a very important factor for the formation of sect. Then we can analyze sect and region. Now, sect and region means, different regions have different sect. What are the different regions and different sect? Now, different regions like Iran we have Shias and Sunnis. Iran we have Shias. Iraq and Saudi Arabia we have Sunnis. Now, Shia and Sunnis are two different sects of Islam, but different sects in different region. Then we can also write example of Jainism. There are two sects of Jainism, Shwetambar and Digambar. Shwetambar you mainly found in northern states. Digambar religion is mainly found in southern states. Shravan Belgola in Karnataka religion. Then Buddhism, if you look at Buddhism, so Heenyan, Mahayana Buddhism, Heenyan Sri Lanka, Mahayana Buddhism India, then your Tibet has Vajrayana Buddhism. So these are all different sects of Buddhist religion. Is it okay? So this is quite how we define sects according to the region. Then we can also say how sects are related with religion. Now, as we have seen in the beginning, the sect is part of the main religion only from where it is born. Now, not only this, over the period of time, a sect may separate from the main religion. That is also a possibility. This is religion, and over the period of time, they may separate from the main religion. If they separate from the main religion, in this case, they are called as denomination. Denominations are just short of the full-fledged religious status. They are just short of full-fledged religious status, which over the period of time can become minority religion. And you can give one example, very good example here, that Jainism was initially a sect of Hindu religion only. Jainism, Buddhism were sect of Hindu religion. Over the period of time, they separated from the Hindu religion, and now they are identified as minority religion by the state. So there is close relationship between sect and religion. Over the period of time, sect may convert into a full-fledged religion. So this is what is this salient feature of sect. You have to give more and more example, analyze the relationship between sect and caste, analyze the relationship between sect and region, and analyze the relationship between sect and religion. That's all. No conclusion is required here. Simple question is asked. Now answer 19. Answer 19. What is the question? Question number 19. Are tolerance, assimilation and pluralism the key elements in the making of Indian form of secularism? Justify your answer. So in introduction, we can talk about what is Indian model of secularism. Indian model of secularism has three main features with equal focus on unity, diversity, where the state has equal focus on unity, diversity, and all religions are treated equally, and all religious groups are treated equally, and all these features you can find under Article 25. So this is Indian model of secularism, which is quite distinct from the West. You can write it is quite distinct from the West because India is very diverse. India is hugely diverse, while Western societies are mostly homogeneous societies. Mainly you find Christian religion there, but you find multiple religious groups in Indian society. Now this we write in Indian model of secularism. This is your intro. Now we come to the body, and in body we will say, what we can say here in the body, that tolerance, assimilation and pluralism are the roots of, this is the key word here, are the roots of Indian model of secularism. Tolerance, assimilation and your pluralism, they are the roots of Indian model of secularism. Now you can explain each and every word here. What is tolerance? Tolerance means peaceful coexistence between different religious groups. The two religious groups are not fighting with each other, so they are tolerant towards so Indian society has been tolerant towards different cultures. Tolerance means there was no conflict even if there was difference in opinion. For example, the Hindu value system is very different from Islamic value system. However, They never came in conflict with each other. They came in conflict in much later time, but initially there was no conflict. So Indian society has been tolerant from the beginning. Now, then we can explain the word assimilation. Assimilation means how we were open to taking some of the few cultural elements from outside culture. So many outsiders who came in contact with India, we took their culture as part of the mainstream culture. For example, when Chinese attacked India, they settled in India as Kushans, and we even gave them the status of Kshatriya. So we were quite open to outsiders. We assimilated their culture, and not only assimilated their culture, we imbibed their culture and gave rise to new forms of culture. We gave birth to new forms of culture like Gandhar art. We copied. Gandhar art was a mix of Buddhism and your Greek culture. So there was tolerance, there was assimilation from the very beginning. We got the evidences of assimilation. And then you will explain the word pluralism. Pluralism means all religious groups in society enjoy equal space. All are treated equally, and equal treatment to the religious groups. And not only this, pluralism also means promotion of diversity. Every religious group in India has equal status. So this is what is the meaning of the word pluralism. Now all three words, after explaining them, all three words, now you have to explain how do they contribute to Indian model of secularism. So what we can write here, tolerance, how does it contribute? Tolerance has led to peaceful coexistence. That means unity. It strengthens which aspect of secularism? Unity. Then assimilation promotes diversity and continuous evolution of culture, that is also there. And your pluralism has also promoted diversity. Pluralism has also promoted diversity. Rather, we can also say that every single aspect of these three words have promoted all aspects of secularism. Every aspect of tolerance, assimilation and pluralism has promoted all aspects of secularism. This also we can say. For example, tolerance not only promotes unity, it means you are not following majoritarianism. You are not going for majoritarianism. What does majoritarianism means? The big culture is not eating away the smaller culture. That means you are also promoting what? Diversity. So you can also expand like this, that every aspect of these three words are impacting, these three aspects are impacting all aspects of secularism positively. That you have to conclude by saying this. So very simple. Again, I will repeat. Define secularism, three features of Indian model of secularism, define each and every word, and then state how they are connected with the Indian model of secularism. Very simple. Just write answers also, just write examples also here. So that is your question number 19. Now question number 20. Let us see question number 20. 20 is a bit of tricky question. Elucidate the relationship between globalization and new technology. So we have to find relationship between globalization and new technology in a world of scarce resources with special reference to India. What we have to keep in mind? We have to keep in mind the scarcity of resources in the background. So what we can write in this answer? We can start with intro. We can talk about globalization. Globalization being interconnected world, an interconnected world through trade. Interconnected world through trade and now the world is also connected digitally through internet. Then you have to elaborate new types of technologies, artificial intelligence. You can talk about artificial intelligence, all aspects of industrial revolution 4.0. Then we can talk about biofuels, then agricultural latest technologies in agriculture, for example nano fertilizers, then water conservation technology, then medicinal technologies. So all these, then also renewable energy, emphasis on renewable energy. So these are different types of new technologies. Now these new technologies require some important scarce resources. These technologies require important scarce resource. What are these scarce resources required? The most important being silicon, rare earth material, rare earth elements. Now, rare earth elements, silicon, and also it requires your lithium for lithium ion batteries. Then we also require corn, wheat, rice for biofuels, like this. So many resources are required in order to meet the growing needs of new technology. Now, for example, renewable energy, solar panels require silicon wafers, medicines require API, water conservation techniques for converting seawater into potable drinking water, agricultural technologies, biofuels, artificial intelligence we have discussed. So artificial intelligence and all these new technologies require rare earth products. Now the question says, this is all about your intro. Now the question says, you have to find the link between globalization and new technology. So there can be two links in the body. You can say how globalization strengthens new technology and how new technology strengthens globalization. So both the aspects you can write. Now, new technology has strengthened globalization. How can we say so that new technology has strengthened globalization? See here, what has happened is the new technology requires some scarce resources which are not distributed evenly across the globe. So there are countries which have raw material for these, which have these scarce resources, raw material for the scarce resources. Then there are countries who are developing the new technology. There are countries who are developing the new technologies, like Western countries. And there are some countries who are manufacturing the new technology on a mass scale. They are manufacturing new technologies on mass scale. And there are countries which are there are countries which are acting as markets for this new technology. Now, let us see what is the link. What is the link? The new technologies will be transferred to the manufacturing countries like China, Taiwan, Vietnam, Indonesia. For example, they are the hub of, you have to mention all these examples, they are the hub of semiconductor manufacturing. Semiconductors are required, very much required for artificial intelligence technologies. But these manufacturing countries require raw material where this raw material is present. For example, rare earth elements are present in China. They are present in China, Australia. Now, the latest technologies, countries which are innovating will be Western countries, USA, Germany, France, Britain. So these are countries with newer technologies. Now, so they are dependent on each other. How they are dependent on each other? Because countries which have raw material do not have latest technologies. Countries which have latest technologies do not have raw material. Countries which have both may not have manufacturing capacity, may not have workforce. And to sell these products, the new technology products, you need markets. So what has happened is the new technologies has strengthened the process of globalization by this way. We can say that. And where does India stand? Where does India stand? India can become a manufacturer of these new technology products. I can give one example also. You can write example also like Apple. The Apple phone is researched and developed in USA, then manufactured in China, Vietnam, Taiwan, Indonesia, the raw material for which is supplied by China. And one of the biggest market for the iPhones is your Indian market. But India is now jumping into manufacturing, but even if India is manufacturing the latest technology, the source of the raw material will come from other countries only. So India needs to depend on other countries for raw material. And that is why the countries have been very quick in moving towards multilateral trade agreements like TPP. So this is one aspect of the answer. The second aspect, how globalization leads to birth of new technologies. So globalization can lead to diffusion of new technologies. What is this diffusion of new technologies? The diffusion will happen, diffusion means transfer of new technologies, and diffusion will mainly happen from Western countries to developing countries for efficient utilization of present scarce resources. Efficient utilization of the present scarce resources. This is also important here. For example, you can write example of Israel. Israel transferring technology to convert seawater into potable water, and Israel also have technology to make best use of dry land agricultural farming. So you can write example of Israel. Then Germany has some of the best technologies to make the most efficient use of silicon solar panels, which is the need of the hour to meet the energy requirements from renewable sources. So this is how we have to write the answer, interdependence. So what we can write in conclusion? Conclusion, we can say that the rise of new technology and the associated scarce resources will strengthen globalization. There is no doubt in this that it will strengthen globalization, and the countries need to identify new supply chains. The country need to identify the new supply chains. Why there is a need to identify new supply chains? Because the importance of resources have changed completely. The importance of resource from crude oil has shifted to rare earth elements. So therefore the supply chains have to be changed. So crude was supplied by Middle East countries. Now they are to be supplied by the new raw materials need to be supplied by other countries. So the global supply chain is going to change, but one thing is sure, globalization will be strengthened with the new technology developments. So that is all about your discussions on these questions.